Tonight on CTV News, taggers strike again and the RSA fights back. It's the midway point for the council's long-term plan hearings, and we take a look at the rebuild from above.
Broadcasting across Canterbury, from the CTV studio, this is First at 5.
Kia ora, good evening. Canterbury police have found the body of a missing hunter believed to be 63-year-old Murray Edge, who disappeared in the upper Tangawai River area in South Canterbury a month ago. Police say the man's body was located in a particularly rugged, shrub-filled terrain with steep gorge creeks. A scene examination is continuing and his death has been referred to the coroner. The RSA is outraged and a local city councillor is calling for action. Vandals have once again struck the New Brighton War Memorial, defacing it in paint, and the RSA is calling for it to be completely rebuilt. Marcus Gibbs reports.
A memorial desecrated. New Brighton's War Memorial coated in another layer of paint.
Bloody angry. I was bloody angry that someone would actually do this.
The local Christchurch City Councillor not amused.
Absolutely appalling, disgusting, outrageous.
Community members not happy with the vandalism either.
It's terrible. It's cleaned up one day and it's back the next.
It's absolutely appalling.
I think it's absolutely terrible.
Lock them up.
The memorial, library and pier walls were all hit by a vandal with a spray can on Saturday night. A water blasting to this wall soon saw the tagging reduced to a reddish stain, but as the memorial is a heritage site, it's harder to remove. The sad thing is this isn't the first attack. The smudged paint seen here is several years old, soaked into the porous limestone.
With the processes we've been using, it's actually served to bleach it and deteriorate the stone. So that's why it's proved so hard to remove.
Because of the porosity of the stone, it can't be removed. You can't get a water blaster in there without damaging it to remove the graffiti.
The Christchurch City Council says contractors will try to remove the fresh graffiti today. The council is researching products and techniques in an attempt to completely remove the stains. But as the stone is fragile in places, it won't be an easy job. To the RSA, memorials like this one are special places.
They are how we left in New Zealand show our respect and our honour for those people that served.
The local RSA is proposing to completely rebuild the memorial to remove the graffiti once and for all.
It may have to be pulled down and rebuilt, and that's a lot of money. We've had a stonemason look at it, and he was talking $20,000 at least.
And a local city councillor is supporting the idea.
The graffiti has to go. Now, if the RSA is saying it has to be replaced, well, yeah, that's probably a good option.
Glenn Livingston is planning a meeting between councillors and the RSA to discuss their next move.
It's a big picture move that we have to make. We have to sit down with the RSA.
In the meantime, a security system has been put in place across the road to stamp out any future tagging on site. It features night vision cameras which are solar powered and motion activated. Once triggered, it sounds sirens and strobe lights. It's sure to deter vandals.
We want it right out here in the thick of it so these guys can see it and get scared off.
And as to what should happen to the vandals if they are caught?
Well, some of our older members might take matters in their own hands if they could catch them.
Now that would be a good lesson. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
It's the final week of the draft long-term plan hearings at the Christchurch City Council. They're halfway through, in fact, and dozens of individuals and groups have had their say, but one suburb in particular is making their voice heard. A council in action. Residents telling Christchurch City councillors what they want to happen in their neighbourhoods. 1 week down and one to go for the draft long-term plan deputations, with hearings being heard in the City Council chambers. A large number of submissions being presented to councillors have come from the embattled suburb of New Brighton, and one of the local councillors is excited by the amount of eastern residents who have come forth to have their say.
Very good deputations and obviously a strong push from the east, and it's good to have that. And you know, I and a few others have been encouraging them to make their views known and to come to the council with a plan. So if it's about some assets such as the camping ground or graffiti, don't just say don't close it, but come, you know, say that, but come along and come up with a plan.
Outspoken New Brighton Business and Landowners Association manager Paul Zanin's one of the local leaders who's expressed his views on the draft plan. He says there needs to be more investment in the seaside suburb. Another group wants to see a 19-kilometre promenade built on top of the sand dunes, with the 900-metre trial costing around $2.4 million. City Councillor Livingston is supporting many of the proposals that have been made so far. He says a plan needs to be drawn up to combined ideas.
You can't just have a hodgepodge of things, you need it all joined up, and a big wide strategy which by nature asks the question, why are we doing what we want to do? So you want to do something over here, here or here, but you have to ask why, and then once you sort that out, you can go ahead and do it. In a sense, you might think, oh, it's a project here, something there. Put it all together, I think we could develop a strategy, and I think that's what we need to do for the future.
He says the focus needs to be on simplicity rather than grand ideas that his cash-stricken council can't afford.
Yeah, I think it's just sorting out, doing the basics well, getting right what we must get right in the public space. So we've heard things about, the toilets and the rubbish bins, the state of the mall, absolutely getting that right. We've got about 3 contracts that run in there with the mall, Marine Parade, the library pier area, so we need to, sort those out, nail those down.
And he believes the other councillors understand the stricken seaside suburbs' struggles.
They know New Brighton's very determined. They're hearing a clarion call, a clear message that we must listen to New Brighton, and that this is something that actually goes back decades, which we're dealing with. It's not only a recent thing, exacerbated obviously by the quakes, but it's a lot of history in this.
Despite the council's nearly $1.2 billion budget blowout, Livingston says there's still money available for important projects in the east to go ahead.
What I'm hearing is that it's about the allocation of resources, so that's what it's come down to with seeing things such as the Pages Road Bridge. So it's about, where have the resources been allocated historically, where are they going to be allocated now? So there is money, the council has money, but it's just how it prioritises and budgets it.
The council is planning to hold a special meeting in New Brighton as part of the draft long-term plan hearings to talk to residents about future projects, with the hope that one day soon New Brighton will be vibrant once again. Jared McCulloch, CTV News. Quake-affected property owners in Selwyn will get another extension on their rates remission. It's the third time the Selwyn District Council has extended the policy, which accepts rates on dwellings made uninhabitable by the September 2010 earthquake. The council says 10 households have received remission since then, worth more than $12,000. The latest extension runs until June next year. Well, still to come here on CTV News, Christchurch from above, a bird's eye view of the rebuild.
Hi, I'm Chris Lynch. Join me every Monday at 8:30 on CTV as we discuss the issues affecting you, your family and everything to do with Canterbury. That's CTV 8:30 right here.
Computer not working? Replace or repair? DIY or get a technician? Looking for parts? Thinking of upgrading? Need accessories? You've got questions, we've got answers. Global PC.
The preparation, the devotion, the fearlessness, the intensity. Runway model management. First impressions are everything.
Made to measure interiors, made with care, made for you.
Join Graham Sinclair and the team at Gone Fishin' as they bring you great stories, fishing tips and beautiful scenery. Gone Fishin', Friday night at 8:30, right here on CTV.
And welcome back to CTV News. Well, while lobbying continues to get more long-haul flights to Christchurch, the leading airline in Taiwan has taken the next step. The South Island tourist market is expected to get a much-needed boost following today's announcement that China Airlines will fly 1,000 more passengers to Christchurch during summer. Following last year's successful trial run, the Taiwanese airline will continue to service over December, January and February. The service will operate 3 times a week, returning from Taipei to Christchurch via Sydney. The airline says the route proved to be the most successful sector in its global network at the time, so it was an easy decision to extend the service. 70% of Air China's travellers to Christchurch come from the North Asian market and further, but it also hopes to get a catch of the Australian market, with its route flying via Sydney. Christchurch International Airport estimates the route is worth more than $15 million from Taiwanese visitors. The service brings a wide-body aircraft into Christchurch, so it will help exporters with air freight into the Asian markets. During China Airlines operations to Christchurch last summer, air freight volume spiked 21%. It's estimated around 75% of international visitors arriving in Christchurch also visit other regions in the South Island. The red zone is nothing new to Christchurch residents, but just how much has it changed from above? Well, new panoramic drone coverage taken by Rebuild Christchurch is now giving a unique perspective of what's happening and changing across the city's rebuild. Joining me now is Dion Swiggs from Rebuild Christchurch. Dion, thanks for coming in today. Let's talk about what you've done. What's all this about?
I mean, one of our principles since we established in 2010 has been to allow people to know what's going on in the recovery and engaging people. And this, I think, is another addition to that. It allows people to look at it when in their own time. They can look at what's going on from above. Like, we've started to do a lot of videos and things like that. And I thought, well, what's another way people can actually engage in what's going on in their own time? And this new technology that's coming out with drones and all this kind of stuff is actually making this available. Absolutely, and as you just said, drone footage, there's more and more of them everywhere, and it's now getting tighter restrictions as well. Did you have any problems when it came to this? I've done a lot of flying, so I've done a lot of pilot tests as well, so it's
experience.
Okay for me. Yeah. Done the paperwork.
Let's just talk about how long it's really taken, I guess, to put all these here, because how many are there in total?
So we've got 27 now. We started with 24, and a couple of people over the last couple of days have said, well, what about this area, what about that area? So we added a couple such as Brooklands and Prestons, just to show some other areas. They take around 8 hours each, so from flight planning to doing Photoshop, and I didn't know how to use Photoshop until probably about 2 months ago, so I had to learn how to do that. But I really think the investing that time for us in doing this is really, really beneficial. I think over 100,000, or actually it's almost 150,000 people have viewed these, or they've had 150,000 views now, so they're very, very engaging for people, and I think, as I said before, this is really important for people in Christchurch, but also around the world, to see what's going on here, to actually understand the challenges that we may be facing from above, because at that helicopter level you can see things that you can't see while you're immersed in doing the work.
Absolutely, and I guess that's right. When you go out to places and you drive places, you can see that, but then from a height it's completely different, and having this technology so available makes it easy, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, and I mean, and now we're getting the process a little bit more better. As I learn Photoshop a little bit more, we can put a drone up anywhere, do that, take the images, process them, and put whatever people want, and that means we're going to have a timeline. So what you see now, we'll be putting them in exactly the same places over the next couple of months and over the next few years, just to sort of show those differences. And some of the biggest areas of change are going to be probably the central city. Like, we've got the one above the Justice and Emergency Precinct. Now that's going up really, really fast, so we might put something up in another couple of weeks, and you'll be able to see the change, well, not in a couple of weeks, in a couple of months, and you'll be able to see the changes there. And I think that's really cool, and that allows people to sort of engage again and get a little bit more excited about this recovery.
I was about to say, it's quite an exciting process, I guess, as well. Let's just take a look at some of those images now on screen. So let's just talk us where we're at here.
So that's Bexley, so it's 100 metres above the Bexley red zone. So amazing to sort of think that there was a full community of houses only a few years ago.
Absolutely, and then we've got here along the beach. So
New Brighton Beach?
Yes,
New Brighton Beach. So this is, again, we've focused on the recovery and the rebuild stuff, but it's really important to actually look at some of the nice things as well. And this is Brooklands, so this we took over, that was yesterday.
Yeah, and this is the new lot you were taking, wasn't it?
So that was in Brooklands. I took that yesterday and shows that. And this is another...
This is the thing, isn't it? This is what I was going to try and explain before, the panoramic. It actually shows 360, doesn't it?
Yes,
really?
it does.
Yeah. So you can go wherever, up and about and everywhere. I've had a wee bit of a play on it before, so it looks quite exciting. Central City?
Yep, that's the Central City. So that's taken a couple of weeks ago. That's looking over the cathedral, and you can zoom down and have a look at that. That one's over Latimer Square, and that's looking at the rebuild of the old Christchurch Club there, and then you can see the green frame starting to look green framey. There's the bus exchange, which was meant to open today, but we're not sure when it's going to open. But you can kind of see the left of the stage 2, but the right-hand side where the buses are going in and out. This is a new subdivision. This is Preston's. So it sort of shows the new of Christchurch, what's actually happening. In the distance, you've got houses on the right, you've got the fences with no houses, and this is just another scenic one of South Shore, which is, looks really cool and quite amazing.
Is there other areas as well? Obviously, these pictures will keep going as well. We'll look at them as well. But is there other areas as well that you wanted to get out to as well? Because you have 27, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, we'll keep going out. People have said, what about Sumner and Kaipoi? And as I said before, we added Brooklands and Preston's in there yesterday. And this one again, this is in Horseshoe Lake, a community full of people once a couple of years ago, and it's really interesting just seeing that there's not a lot there. And that's the Innovation Precinct. So down on the right there, you can see the Vodafone building going up, and then Kathmandu just beside it, and then there's C1 Cafe.
Absolutely.
And that's the Justice and Emergency Precinct. So on the actual interactive panoramics, you can actually tilt down and actually have a zoom in and look at the actual structure. You can look right inside the building at the moment.
What's been the response like from people that have viewed it? What do they say?
Well, a lot of people are talking about, saying to us, or from the comments that we're seeing, they're looking, especially in the red zone ones, they're going, I used to live there, and that's where my house was, and people are trying to look out for where they're living, and so they're trying to find where they fit into the puzzle from above.
Absolutely, and then this here is our Littleton
Port. So we're going to look at the rebuild and the recovery of Littleton Port, because if on the other side you've got the port reclamation, and we've got a panoramic view of that, that's a whole area at the port that's been, that's the CBD red zones demolition rubble, so they're actually doing that big port reclamation there.
Nice. There's a lot of variety in those photos as well, and as you said, there's going to be more as well. So obviously over time, you'll be more and more. How are you going to get it so it'll be in the exact same places to mirror?
Yeah. So each of the we have drone GPS coordinates. So basically, I just type into the drone what the GPS coordinate is, what height it is. All those are logged in the software. So it just flies up and it takes the thing. I just take the photos. Each of them are around 40 to 50 photos in each of them. It's generally a few more photos is good. You need relatively okay weather, but the drone can sort of handle up to around 20-30 k's of wind. But it's ideally having a nice day.
Awesome. It's very exciting stuff, actually. It's very impressive, yeah.
And as technology moves on, and I think this is going to be the exciting part, we're really at a change of technology. Technology is advancing so fast. We're going to be able to have some of these really new creative things. And I mean, we don't have all the answers, so I really think there's going to be some really awesome stuff that other people will probably go, we can do something really cool. And I'd love to see those kind of things, get those online, so people can engage and actually be part of Christchurch's recovery.
Absolutely, I can't wait to see the next lot. Thank you so much. Dion Swiggs from Rebuild Christchurch. You can see that on their website, rebuildchristchurch.co.nz. We're still to come here on CTV News, the week's sport review and your region's weather.
With all the latest innovations in the world of technology, Shift has everything you need to stay informed and in the know. Shift, 2:15 on Monday, right here on CTV.
Opus is recreating the heart of Canterbury. From large-scale projects to commercial buildings. Your design, your vision. Opus.
Colour in your life. Colour Steel, the roof of New Zealand.
Diversity. No deposit. Instant finance. Convenience. Open 7 days. Austin Motor Company.
Drive It showcases the new arrivals to the motoring world, comparing and testing the latest models to discover which one is the best. Drive It, Sunday afternoons at 2:30, only on CTV.
And welcome back to CTV News. Well, the Christchurch Buskers Festival will continue thanks to it turning a profit this year. Despite the odds, the Buskers Festival is celebrating a surplus for the 2015 event. With its disparate and changing locations over the last few years due to the earthquakes and funding cuts, it was touch and go this year, with organisers cautious about being able to turn a profit. But figures today show the event took a $500,000 surplus, with 250,000 visitors over its 10-day lineup of local and international performers. Organisers say the warmer weather also helped and customer feedback was very positive across the board. This year's surplus follows a previous loss, but more locals turned out this year, and the 2016 date has already been locked in for the 14th to the 24th of January. And now here's Gordon with a roundup of the weekend sport.
The Canterbury Rams had a successful return to Cal Stadium on Friday night with a blowout win over the Hawke's Bay Hawks. Rams import Mikel Gladness put his mark on the match early with a block off the Hawks' first possession, his first of 5 on the night, setting the trend for what was to follow. The visiting Hawks struggled offensively, shooting at just 34% from the field and 20% from three-point range. Unlike the Hawks, the Rams' second import, Jermaine Taylor, wasn't struggling to find his range as he knocked down 5 from 9 attempts beyond the arc on his way to 19 points in his best Rams performance to date. Richie Edwards was the Rams' top scorer again, with 25 points to go along with 7 rebounds. The Rams' 83-62 win leaves them in the top 4 with their next match at home again to the Hawks on Sunday. Our women's basketball side, the Wildcats, also had a great weekend on the court with their second series of the season taking place at Cal Stadium over the weekend. The side won 4 of their 5 matches and are now confirmed for the top 6 finals tournament in June, with 1 weekend series still to play. To netball now, where the Mainland Tactics fell to one of their worst defeats of the season in Sydney yesterday in a frustrating match. After giving the Swifts an early lead, the Tactics defence looked to create the chance for the side to rebound. However, it was yet another case of wasted possession as the side's error rate skyrocketed. Trailing by 11 at the end of the first quarter, the match was gone early for the Tactics, with damage limitation becoming the cause late in the game. The side now have 2 home matches remaining in their season as they still hunt for their first win. And finally tonight, the 8th round of the Hawkins Cup provided the entertainment, with Saturday's action seeing New Brighton toppled from the top of the standings when they narrowly lost to Sydenham 28 points to 27. Lincoln University now take the lead in the competition, with the defending champs defeating Shirley 41-15. The annual Crying Towel rivalry match between Christchurch and Linwood saw the visitors Linwood take the honours 22 points to 16. There were also wins for Marist Albion, High School Old Boys and University. You're up to date with the latest in local sport. I'm Gordon Findlater for CTV Sport.
Thanks for that, Gordon. Time now for your region's weather.
Good evening, Canterbury. Let's take a look at today's highs. Down in Timaru, you had a high of 17 today. Temuka and Geraldine, you are also both on 17 degrees. Methven, Ashburton and Mackaya, you all shared 17 as well. A similar picture for Darfield, Leeston and Rolleston, who are all on 17 degrees. Lincoln, 17 for you. Christchurch, slightly warmer for you with 18. Over in Akaroa, 17 degrees for you. Rangiora, Kaiapoi and Amberley all shared 18 degrees. Taking a look further inland, Calverton, Hamner Springs and Cheviot all had a high of 19. Kaikoura, you shared the region's high of 19 degrees. Now to tomorrow's temperatures. Timaru, cloud breaking and sunny periods increasing during the day with southwesterlies dying out. Tonight's low 7, tomorrow's high 13. Ashburton, cloud breaking and sunny periods increasing during the day with southwesterlies dying out. Tonight's low 7 degrees, tomorrow's high 13. To the Garden City now. Cloudy in the morning but sunny periods developing during the afternoon. Light northeasterly winds later on. Tonight's low getting down to 7, tomorrow's high 12 degrees. Kaikoura, cloud breaking and sunny periods increasing during the day with southwesterlies dying out. Tonight's low 7, tomorrow's high 13. In other areas around the region now, Temuka and Geraldine, cloudy becoming fine with a high of 13. Methven and Rakaya, you can also expect 13 degrees. Darfield, Leeston and Rolleston, 13 degrees for you as well. Looking to Lincoln now, a high of 13. Over in Akaroa, 13 degrees for you. Rangiora, Kaiapoi and Amberley, you can all expect 13. Up north in Calverton, Hamner Springs and Cheviot, cloudy becoming fine with a high of 13 degrees. Now looking ahead for Canterbury, fine and sunny and moderate northeasterly winds on Wednesday. Fine on Thursday with high cloud thickening and moderate northerly winds, some rain at night with a cold southwesterly change. Showers clearing but remaining cloudy and cold on Friday, with fresh southwesterly winds decreasing slowly during the day. Becoming fine on Saturday with sunny periods increasing and cool southwesterlies dying out. And that's your weather update for Monday.
Thanks for that, Mercy, and that's CTV News for Monday. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jared McCulloch. Good evening.